Our free and equal segment tonight. We don't often hear movie stars speak out against abortion. More often we hear comedians like Sarah Silverman and Chelsea Handler bragging about their abortions. But Nicole Scherzinger from Disney's new movie Moana says her mom got pregnant with her at age 17, gave birth at age 18, and Scherzinger says without being preachy, she encourages everybody to keep your babies. Joining me now to break this down, founder and proprietor of ReaganBaby.com, Megan Barth. Megan, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Liz. Thanks so much. Good to see you.
It's always good to have you here. Megan, this is quite the story. Nicole Scherzinger, she's now starring in Disney's Moana, as you know, but she says that she almost turned down her role. She became quite famous for this role in the Dirty Dancing reboot on ABC because the character that she was set to play has an illegal abortion. But after some thought, she says she decided to go ahead and do that role because increasing fame could give her an increasing voice to stand up for unborn babies.
Yeah, and she also said that she and her father prayed about it, and they came to the conclusion that she could use her voice to speak out as a celebrity in favor of a pro-life position. And it was so refreshing because I don't know if you caught the news today, Liz, but Lena Dunham regrets not having an abortion. I mean, there's a lot of things on my bucket list, but one of them is not an abortion.
Right. No, it's absolutely terrible. We were talking about this earlier, actually, because we all have friends who have different beliefs than we do. I have friends who are pro-abortion, and we sat down and we talked about this, not just today, but other days. When Chelsea Handler was bragging about her abortion, we talked about it too. And even my pro-abortion friends who think that it's fine, think that abortion should be legal, that it's a woman's choice, do not think abortion should be glorified. They think that it's a tragedy and a hard decision. And then you have people like Lena Dunham coming out and saying she wished she had one. I mean, honestly, she sounds like a mental case to me.
Yeah, that's where liberalism is truly a mental disorder. But the Democrats are in a real quandary with their abortion reproductive justice narrative. Abortion is not reproductive justice. When you look at the majority of our country, only believe in abortion in the first trimester. And the Democrats' platform have gone way beyond the first trimester to abortion in demand. So they're trying to mainstream abortion against mainstream thought, and it's backfiring.
Right, and it's absolutely terrible. As you know, in Ohio, this was just relevant too. There were two abortion-related bills that were placed on Governor Kasich's desk. One of them would have banned abortion after a heartbeat was detectable, probably would have been 6, 7, 8 weeks along, and then the other one was after 20 weeks, after the first trimester. But an NPR headline, this is actually unbelievable, Megan, an NPR headline, this was on the building outside of Washington, D.C., it said, quote, Republican governor decided the time limit measure is more likely to withstand legal challenges than a separate bill tied to the sounds from the fetus. Megan, is that what we're calling a heartbeat now, sounds from the fetus?
Yeah, well, I think I see this kind of as progress. NPR is actually referring to the mass of clump of cells in a woman's body as a fetus, which means it's human. It's not a banana and it's not a clump of cells. So I guess we have to give them some sort of, smack on the back and congratulations for at least acknowledging that a pregnant woman is carrying a life.
Well, I think they must just be really, really scared of people hearing the truth here, because if they truly believe what they say they believe, then they wouldn't have a problem with women seeing an ultrasound of their unborn baby before an abortion, or using the proper terminology, a heartbeat, for what you hear when you put an ultrasound on a pregnant woman's stomach. I mean, they're so scared they can't even say the word heartbeat.
Yeah, and the majority of women that are actually seeking an abortion, statistics show that after they see the ultrasound, they change their mind. And this sort of truth is an anathema to the Democrats. The truth will set many of these women free, and the truth will come through an ultrasound and also science and recognizing that the fetus is a human life and the termination of a fetus is murder.
Right, and that exact number, it's actually 78% of pregnant women who see an ultrasound image or hear a heartbeat of their baby before they're going to seek an abortion decide against an abortion. 8 out of 10, Megan. It's an incredible number. Like I said, I'd be scared if I were Democrats too, but I think they're trying to hide the fact that 80%, another 8 out of 10 Americans, think that abortion should be restricted to the first trimester. That was one of the most off-putting things that Hillary Clinton said in that third and final debate when she talked about not even wanting to oppose late-term abortions, that partial birth abortion was a misnomer. I mean, she was accurately representing the Democratic Party's views on that, and it's not in line with the American people.
Right. The question that really needs to be asked is if a woman who is 8 months pregnant loses her job, does she have the right to terminate that pregnancy? According to the Democrat platform, she does, because it is reproductive justice according to them. It is abortion on demand, which is what they are advocating for, and what Hillary Clinton didn't necessarily say but alluded to in her advocacy for late term abortion.
Right, right. And then the final thing that's related to the pro-life topic that we have tonight is Obama. I mean, he's the most radically pro-abortion president we've ever had. And maybe it's easy to be so in this day and age when the Democratic Party is so extremely far to the left. But now he's having his Department of Health and Human Services issue another rule, of course, it comes from the administrative side, issue another rule that's going to ban states from defunding abortion providers like Planned Parenthood under Title X funding. Megan, this is troubling because this is not something the federal government should be dictating. This is something that states are supposed to decide for themselves where that money will be best used in their own state in regard to women's health issues, not just abortion.
And let's not forget that the Sisters of the Poor sued the Obama administration for forcing them to provide abortive drugs. It's the first time I've ever heard of a group of nuns suing an administration over such a personal, a personal ruling that he handed down and forced down upon their a private group. So we have definitely a backlash against this administration when it comes to abortion. And the Hyde Amendment is law which protects us taxpayers from funding abortions, but it doesn't stop Obama
Right.
from creating the rules as he goes along.
Right, but even so, even with the Hyde Amendment, I'm certainly grateful for that, but even so, when we fund abortion clinics, even if the money doesn't go directly to abortions, that money helps the clinics stay in business. It enables them to use all of their other money for all of their other services that they'd have to take away from abortion if we didn't give them the money and use for the other things. I mean, it's basically just a rhetorical game.
Correct. And I don't really see why the taxpayer needs to subsidize abortions, much like the corporation Planned Parenthood. They could easily take on private donations from many of their wealthy Democrat supporters.
Right, and we don't see them doing that. Instead, we see them attacking Mike Pence. Megan, that's all the time we have for today, unfortunately, but thank you so much for being here. All right, guys, our next tipping point with Peter Hassan, the truth about fake news. We'll be right back.